I'm just driving right now, so I thought this would be a good time to have a chat.
Yes, I was really looking forward, and I think it's a, uh privilege for me to get this opportunity to have a chat with you, and I was quite looking forward to it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, where are you located right now?
Yeah, I'm in the subcontinent. I'm in Pakistan, and
Acha,
yeah.
I'm from Pakistan also. I'm from Karachi.
Oh, I'm from Lahore, so I think
Acha.
we should. हाँ, हमें तो बड़ा अच्छा फिर महसूस करना चाहिए आपस में.
Yeah, yeah,
आसानी होगी.
yeah. So one of the things, after the wood debate, maybe we
Yes.
could talk about is how can we cascade this knowledge to other people? Because now there's a new version of Quran and science, which
Yeah,
is
I
basically
yeah.
which is basically how Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave better answers on some on these key questions than what we see in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can turn this into a sort of a post debate, some mini analysis, right? Uh,
Right, right.
yeah, it was quite interesting, and the debate was, I think, were pretty good. Um, like I think you made very good points about Prophet Muhammad speaking about, can you cannot eat those animals who have fangs, and linking that to COVID-19. Similarly, uh, by the way, I love your tactics. I think you are one of the strongest debaters at the moment, and all these debaters like Wood and Shamoon, they don't like debating with you, and the reason for that is that I think you are probably one of the best who uh, you know you kick gears up. Like, for example, I was just looking at your tactics. You in the initial debate, you said that he was utilizing this pepper spray tactics, right? You use these
Right.
words. Yeah, pepper spray attack, shotgun tactics, nervous fit. He is having nervous fits. He's turning it into a shouting competition. He has failed the debate. Once again, he has failed the debate,
Right.
conceded the debate. So all these kind of words, it really pushes them. You're right.
Right, right. They like to go after easy people.
Yes.
And if you look at some of the past debates they had with people, they were with the laymen, people who have little to no experience in apologetics, so
Yep.
that they can make their beliefs look somewhat good. But I'm a 50-year-old man. I've been doing this for the last 30 years. Oh, no, about 30 years. So there's a level of experience I'm bringing to the table, and they know that. So they're going to run away.
Um, just to highlight this issue of turning it into post debate, I really like the point about the flat earth point, right, where he was trying to target the flat earth point, and you said that God is actually suggesting that he will make the earth smooth and plain, like a plain surface for us to travel. I mean,
Right.
such an easy point, and they still cannot understand.
Right. Well, I think what's also important on that is other people say the Earth is spread out too. If you look into the scientific literature, it's perfectly fine to say that.
Yep.
Why do you jump to conclusions and say, "Oh no, this means Earth is flat"? I don't think what. Then you should say that to NASA.
Yep.
So the wording of the Quran is perfectly acceptable from a scientific point of view.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
and even in chapter 39, verse 5, right? It's quoted that the word used is yukabiru for the day and night wrapping around the earth, which means like wrapping around a turban, right? So
right, right,
it
right.
suggests spherical nature of the earth as well. Similarly, I would highlight one or two points as well where probably we can address them now. Seven heavens stacked up, right? And he was trying to,
Right.
humiliate, stacked up like pancakes, this kind of derogatory language that they use.
Right,
And
right, right, right.
he doesn't know that up, when we say Allah is above the heavens, this above or this up doesn't mean like a three-dimensional physical kind of an up. This is like a hierarchical up, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when it suggests seven heavens are stacked up, it's a hierarchical up. You cannot imagine
Yeah.
where the second heaven is or the third. It's a supernatural, like you suggested, supernatural metaphysical kind of an event, right? So the above or up seven heavens stacked up above, these are hierarchical, not like a three-dimensional that David Wood was imagining in his mind, right?
Yeah, Biko, that's a cheap shot he was doing. He knows that he's bombarding hundreds of points at me. I did not have time to address all these arguments.
Yeah, हम भी
And
वैसे
so,
हम्म
yeah,
हम
I
भी
think everybody knew that, okay, he's throwing a lot of arguments at him, and he's not, and it's clear that he's just trying to show that, okay, because he knows that, I guess if you throw a lot of arguments and if the guy doesn't have time to respond to some of them, he'll say, okay, chalo, I won.
Yep.
Come on, that's not fair.
Yes, और हम भी ये machine gun tactics, pepper spray tactics use कर सकते हैं. जैसे I mean, I have a list here about scientific miracles, like embryological miracle in chapter 23 verse 12, function of mountains, holding the world together. Chapter 21 verse 31, pain receptors, Allah will generate new skin. Chapter 4 verse 56, singularity and the Big Bang theory. Chapter 21 verse 30, spherical earth. Chapter 39 verse 5, frontal part of brain handles lies. Chapter 96 verse 16, relativity of time. Chapter 22 verse 47, sky a protective ceiling, from all the harmful radiations. Chapter 21 verse 32, and chapter and water cycle. Chapter 39 verse 21 and 86:11, where God says that he returns back the water. So we can do
now
this
respond to each
tactics as well,
respond
right?
to each point or else you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Give me a
So
break.
yeah, so they have these tactics, right? Very weak tactics, and they don't like to reason with us. By the way, I also wanted to ask you about what do you think about these mathematical miracles and these historical miracles narrative in the Quran, like likeness of Jesus is like that of Adam, 25 times mentioned each. Do you also believe in those things?
Yeah, I do, but one thing we have to keep in mind is we want to make sure that the level of complexity to these arguments are kept at a minimum. So, like for example, the average person listening to the debate, is he really going to go back to the Quran and start counting these numbers to verify? Probably not. So we need to give him something that's super simple, super easy, and that that he can just say, ye say that. You want him to get to agree. So that's why I use the arguments, which I did with wood, because it's super simple, super easy, and the average person listening who's not a Muslim can say, ye say that immediately.
Yep.
Because the mathematical miracle is complicated. And the only people who are really going to verify it are the religious people.
By the way, another thing that's complicated is the core tenets of the modern Christianity, right? They are not just complex in terms of the nature of Jesus, right? Which is like Jesus as Son of God versus Jesus is God, and then two natures of Jesus. You have to call it like the church says, two natures in a hypostatic union. And then all these concept of forgiveness. I mean, their core tenets are not so easy to understand. And they try to target Islam.
Right.
And just a couple of more points I have written. Sperm versus zygote. I mean, David Wood. The difference between nutfa and mani. I mean, so basic differences. Another thing he talked about was whatever will be discharged first will determine the sex of the human being. And not everything Prophet Muhammad speaks in a scientific tone. This is what now we are discovering. This is what is called trajectory hermeneutics. कि उस जमाने में लोगों को क्या चीज समझ आती थी किस लैंग्वेज के हिसाब से, उस लैंग्वेज के हिसाब से रसूल पाक बोलते थे. This is called trajectory hermeneutics, right? So people that understood in that time, you have to use that language. So Prophet Muhammad was a social genius. He used language that was understood by everybody, and in future as well.
Right. Hello.
By the way, I mentioned before that they are stuck in this post-colonial liberalist type of a mindset, right? They would never like to. They would never like to debate on a title that doesn't suit them, right? So this is their strategy. And does Christianity promote terrorism? They would never suggest that kind of title, but they would for Islam, right? I mean, there are Christians. I have lay discussions with lay Christians, and I directly ask them that if I get drone strike right now, will you condemn it? And they cannot condemn it. That's how much they are stuck in this neoliberal fascist kind of a mindset. So these titles does represent that thing as well.
Hello.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking, actually. I mean, why don't you have so many, viewership? And that to me is still very shocking. I think you're one of the best at this. I mean, people like Hijab, people like Sabur Ahmed, people on, all these kind of elite people. Hamza Zorsits, they have such a good following. Why do you think you are lagging behind at this, even though you have, probably debated and defeated all of these people like Apostate Rizwan and these kind of other Islamophobes, Wood and Shamoon? What do you think is the reason for that?
Well, the thing is, I never put any emphasis in building a YouTube channel, and I never see in UK they're all kind of situated together. Zortis, Wood, all these people, so they can help each other. Like there's also a brother Adnan Rashid.
Yep.
So they all kind of work together, and they had that a speaker's corner where they could produce lots of videos, a lot of attention from people.
Yep.
Not any of that. Like where I live in Jacksonville, Florida, is me.
Yep.
So there it is an opportunity which I never had. But what I would like to see in the future, like for example, this latest debate on Quran and science, of how Muhammad gave scientifically superior answers. This is something I want to see everybody do, not just me, because it's so easy to debate this. Like some things you kind of have to have a certain level of expertise. But what I did with Wood is simple, easy stuff.
Yep.
So what needs to happen, and that's kind of what I'm looking to do, is I want us all, not just me, but other people to now start picking up the baton and marching forward with these arguments and start confronting Wood. And Shimon, hey, Shimon, where are you? Why are you not debating scientific errors in your book? Why are you running away from the slavery debate? Like if you saw in the debate, Wood, वो भाग गया. मैंने बोला, अरे क्यों? Why don't you debate slavery? Huh? What are you afraid of? If the Muslims like hijab and people just pick up this point and put the spotlight on him, we'll end his career. We'll destroy him. And so that's what needs to happen now. There's only so many of these solo debates I can do.
By the way,
go ahead.
Do you think David Wood is sort of a submarine atheist, right? I think he's probably a submarine liberal atheist, right? He pretends to be Christian. What about that?
Maybe it's possible. I don't know, because he's incapable of defending his own beliefs.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think this last debate about वो इंजील की लानत इंसान के ऊपर, this was about the lanat of the Injil, what we call the curse. I think that's going to scare him. It's going to scare a lot of these people, because this is an argument they never dealt with. They're only used to debating and refuting the Ahmedida type arguments.
Yep.
But
they are
once
still
you
stuck.
go,
they're still stuck 30 years back. And, it's not 2001 anymore when internet, just arrived and there were so few Muslims on the internet, right? So internet has evolved. Now Muslims have, picked up this art as well. And now they are confronting them and they don't know what to do. Because when a Muslim like hijab and you start speaking with this sort of a equal supremacist type of tone that they use, they don't like it, because in their mind they're stuck in that post-colonial neoliberal fascist kind of a mindset, right? So they don't like it, because do you observe the titles, right? How Michael Brown uses the title against you. Michael Brown destroyed Nadir Ahmed, right? So they use these kind of titles.
Yeah, they're gonna use, but that can only last for so long, And if we should invite Michael Brown for a debate on Bible and science. Why not?
Yep.
Let's see who's the buzdil. Who's the coward of me, and you will see they will all run away. Yeah. But one thing, so you've seen this new debate on Quran and science, but I think what people have not seen is a debate on Islam, Christianity, and slavery.
Yep.
And when you see that debate, it's gonna be really incredible, because Sheikh Osman actually gave a little piece of it, where I don't know if you watched that video clip where he exposed David Wood on a verse in the Bible talk about beating a slave to death. Yep. I don't know if you watched that video clip.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that was good. But that's only a small taste of of the future. And that's why coward Admi Wood will bagya. He said, no. And I was hitting him. I said, oh, look at him. He's running away. And what was khamushta? He wouldn't even respond back. I was like, oh my God.
I mean,
this is
even if you watch the debate of Daniel Hakikachu, I think that was also quite good. And he sort of, defended this idea of slavery. And if also people like Jonathan Brown, I think they did such a good job. When they try to speak against Islam, they don't know what their scripture says. And not only their scripture, even to atheists, it's like throwing away the entire history, because the entire history incorporated this system, because this system was closely linked with an economic system, right? So destroying
Right, right.
slavery at that time was like destroying the entire economy. So even atheists are now somewhat on the back foot on these issues, and they don't talk about these issues often, right? I
Right, right.
mean, yeah.
There are so many horrible things written in the Bible regarding slavery. The Christians know it's indefensible.
Yep.
For us Muslims, as you pointed out, we have nothing to hide. Everything has a perfectly rational and moral reasoning behind it. When you look at Quran and Hadith on slavery, that's why I threw it out there. Like, what's wrong here that you're bringing up these issues?
Yep.
So
And
they know that. They know that they're not going to be able to win a debate like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
Islam, I think Islam is probably the best religion who sort of alleviated slavery with time, right? So they encouraged freeing of slaves. They encouraged a system of, a master having not a complete autonomy over slaves. They encouraged a system where a slave can earn his freedom. So Islam, I think, was probably the best religion that helped in alleviating slavery with time, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's also written in academic literature. So if you go to the universities, and you'll see a lot of college professors wrote a lot of good things about Quran and slavery. And you'll never find something like that with a, So this is actually something which even academics have even accepted as well from an
Yeah.
academic point of view.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
was an
That's
intrinsic
a big
part of
debate
history.
which needs to
Yeah.
come.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was an
So the
intrinsic part.
question now is, I think what the direction we need to go now, we need to go out and reach out to those big channels.
Yep.
And we need to go talk to the Zortises and get everybody, because right now they're talking about philosophy. They're talking about, how to prove does God exist, and all that is okay. But we need to get all of the Islamic channels on the topic of slavery. We need to get them on the topic of this latest version of Quran and science about Allah subhanahu, about the Bible ki lanat on mankind.
One last question. I mean, I had this question in mind as well about this scientific. Why do you like the scientific miracle thing so much? All of your debates are about scientific miracles. Why do you think that is the strongest point? Because there are other things as well, like the literary eloquence of Quran, ease of memorization, unique amalgamation between prose and poetry, powerful meaning, the popularity, most recited book, most memorized book, preservation, most preserved in terms of both oral and written, and affiliation with Prophet Muhammad, truthful nature, and all these kind of things. So why do you, only the scientific miracle thing? Why there are other miracles as well?
I mean, the points you raised are also, the other arguments are also valid. But the question I have for you is, like the ijaz, the eloquence of the Quran, to the average non-Muslim, do you really think you are going to be able to convince him in a short period of time of the Arabic eloquence of the Quran? I say it's very difficult. It's extremely difficult. I don't know, you're not going to be successful in a debate to really give them some level of appreciation. But you can do that with a science.
Yeah, but just to play devil's advocate, there are also two groups among the Muslim community. One is like, that there are scientific miracles in the Quran. The other group is like that no, Quran is not a book of science. There are no scientific miracles in the Quran. I take a middle approach. I say that although probably the scientific miracle narrative is somewhat overblown, however, Quran does have scientific accuracies, and when you combine all of them, then there is a scientific miracle as well. I take this approach just to play devil's advocate. The other group, which says that Quran doesn't have scientific miracles, they say that because scientific miracle narrative is so overblown, it almost seems like that we are giving science a pedestal over religion. So how would you respond to those people?
The people who said that there's no scientific miracle in the Quran, they have to make tawbah.
Yeah.
Okay. because that is completely wrong. And now we have a new version, a completely new version of Quran and science, which they are completely ignorant of, they're unaware of.
Hmm.
And that is, how did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam know about the scientific errors in the Bible and correct them?
Yep.
This is a new one, which they're completely unfamiliar of.
Yep.
So all of those people who said there's no miracle, scientific miracle in the Quran, they all need to retract that statement. They
Hmm.
all have to, because you know that what the problem is, and I talked to some of them, I won't mention their names, they know they are wrong in saying that, but the kibber, the arrogance in their heart, and they do not want to go back and retract their statements.
Hmm.
That's all that's left.
Yep.
But the debate I did with Wood is a radical shift, is a completely new version of Quran science, in which it shows that it is actually alleviating the misery and suffering caused by the lanat in the Bible.
Yep.
You know. So now, tell me, those people who made comments about Quran science, what do they know about that topic?
Yeah.
Let me help you out. Nothing.
Hmm.
So they have to make tawbah.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to get on the same page now, and they all need to affirm the scientific miracle of the Quran.
Yes. Yeah, and I think
And this,
there are a lot of scientific accuracies like we discussed, and you also discussed about fangs, alcohol, and I was also reading about Caliph Umar, where he prevented an epidemic. He didn't travel from one place to another, suggesting that there can be an
right,
epidemic. So there are so many of these accuracies, not just in Quran, but also in Hadith, right? Even I
right,
was reading about the sleep. There are so many great things Prophet Muhammad talked about sleep. Sleep in the middle
right,
of the day, not in the first. And now all the scientific peer-reviewed
right.
journals are confirming that this is healthy. Um, so much other stuff.
And let me ask you a question. So the people who said there's no scientific miracle in the Quran, where is the debate on that topic?
They try to suggest that if you are taking this narrative using science to prove religion, you are giving science a pedestal over religion. For them, this is
And what's wrong? No, 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 no. That's a ridiculous interpretation. But the question I had for you is, these are things which should be openly debated. I don't see any debate on these
yeah.
topics.
No, I take a middle approach. I believe that
Like, for
Quran.
example, they should have invited me. They should have invited me
Yes.
to come and talk on this and say, okay, well, here's our understanding. But they're saying, they're acting like some kind of sheikh. I am giving you this fatwa now. No, wait a second. These are things
No.
which we need to discuss in the open. You don't
Yep.
make decisions on this. We make decisions as a team on these things,
Yes.
and that never happened.
Yes.
So this is a lot of ignorance which is being taken place, and that's what we all need to work together. Hopefully, I can work with you
Mm.
to educate Muslims, the people who've made wrong statements in the past
Yes.
about these things. They all got to retract that.
Yeah. No, I believe there are even mathematical accuracies, right? So these odd even
Right.
miracles, these Jesus like Adam, the word middle in Surah Baqarah in the middle, Surah Kausar relationship with number 10, historical miracles like you suggested, the word
Right.
Quran actually corrected the Bible in the
Right.
story of Joseph, where it used not pharaoh but used king, because in those times the current
Right.
hieroglyphic suggested that the word king was used.
Right.
And
Now, I do want to use that argument, but
hmm,
I have not found because when I debate, I make sure I screen share to show the exact historical reference.
we can do that in
So I
future as
just
well.
yeah, I just need to collect that because that would be very good.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I think where we need to go from here is now we gotta work as a team to
Inshallah.
confront these Islamophobes. Not just me. Me going and doing some debate on modern day debate. This is not enough. We got to work as a team to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good time probably to end. I had such a fun discussion with you, and I would like to have this again probably every
Sure.
month or every 2 months.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely. Inshallah. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah, you have a YouTube page also, right?
Yeah, I have about 400 subscribers right now, and but organic subscribers. I would like to probably boost my channel as well, and
Right.
that's why I contacted you. I also like to discuss other things about read about other things like ilmul hadith, ilmul rijal. I like to study all these kind of things, and I also
Right.
like to keep up with all your discussions, all your debates. I really enjoyed your debating style. It's such a strong style. It's probably, I think, the probably one of the strongest styles I have seen, like hijab does, and your style as well is very good. So I really enjoyed this discussion. I would like to have this again. Probably do it with my, there are my other friends as well. Probably with some atheists as well. I can arrange something, inshallah,
That
in future.
that sounds like a good idea where we can invite some atheists and people like
Yeah.
that to do some live debates on your channel.
I had long discussions with Ezeth Original and Logic. I'll, try to hook them up with probably next time, and I'll give you the date and arrange it. Try to arrange it.
Oh yeah, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so
excellent.
much.
जज़ाकल्लाह। अच्छा,
अल्लाह
चलो
हाफिज।
फिर बहुत मजा आया आपसे
हाँ,
बात
मुझे
करने
भी
से।
बड़ा मजा आया। अल्लाह आपको सेहत दे और आपके लिए आसानियां पैदा करे।
अच्छा, जज़ाकल्लाह।
अस्सलाम
Thanks, brother.
वालेकुम।
Alaikum.